What's up, studs, studettes, bros, hoes, and gigolos, my friends, my people? Welcome to today's stock market recap and watch list for tomorrow. It is Thanksgiving week. We've got so much to uncover. Even though the indexes have been flat in the stock market, there has been action all over the place. So let's spend a few minutes digging into the market indices, what's happening with the QQQ, the SPY, the IWM. And then from there, let's dig into my favorite stocks for tomorrow. I will have for you a handful of day trades and some potential swing trades to put into your tool belt. So no matter what style trader you are, I got something for you. I am the hardest working man in show business, the James Brown of day trading. Here we go. Let's roll. So QQQ's up 0.5% today. A little bit, I would say just a little bit of a digestion day. We're at what we'd call an inside day. An inside day is just when you have a candle inside the previous day's range, and I considered that bullish. Why? When you have an overbought market, and we're slightly overbought, if you can get a inside day, right, just like a digestion day, it usually is a bullish scenario, because what it's saying is that you can't even knock the market down, right? The market is so hot that you can't even knock it down, let it break under some moving averages, let it break under some supports. What we're saying is that we've got ourselves some staying power, that even on the days that we rest, we just consolidate. And stocks get their power from consolidation. They get their power from this basing action. And so when you have something extended and it just goes sideways, that's very bullish, all right? So overall, I would think, it being turkey week and nobody's really even around, having a sideways day is good. The S&P 500 broke out the all-time highs. It is up 6-7 days in a row. I would still consider this an inside day or a rest day also, even though it did slightly peak out from the previous day. Let's just call that, flat for the most part. So I think everything is looking buenos dias. And then, the IWM, we were talking about this yesterday. You got really, really extended here and a little bit of a reversal candle. So today's, gap down and the subsequent weakness, I don't think is a bearish thing. We gapped down and then we just followed through a little bit and then we ended up chopping around. And so what we ended up doing is just kind of filling this gap right here. I don't see there's too much to read into that. We held support. We held the previous day's high, which is considered bullish. We back and filled that gap. Overall, it's a digestion day. And the fact that it just sat in such a narrow range for pretty much the whole day is considered bullish on my end. I think that a few more days of that would be very good for the IWM to set up a little bit of a December rally where you could get this thing to break out, into this kind of all-time highs. This is the weekly chart where you can break out into this all-time highs and actually hold. We do need a small bit of digestion here, but we're there. And if Uncle Russell, the Russell 2000, if Uncle Russell shows up to party, then all bets are off for the end of the year. Like it could be a bonanza, COVID-style action where you have so much pent-up demand for mid-caps and these kind of non-mega caps, because mega caps have been leading the way for so long, that if that breakout holds and gains some traction, we're really going to have ourselves a nice end-of-the-year run. Let's take a look at the individual watch list for today. I've got a whole host of names here. My watch lists have been getting bigger and bigger, but what I'm going to do is just narrow this down into some names that I think are that are ready to party. Like they're ready to go right now. So first of all, this DOX, I think this triggered a swing trade today, by the way. So DOX had popped to 62. And then we had this huge pullback right into that bone zone, right? That area between 9 and 20 EMA. And then you captured the 9. And so when you pull back and then you remount the 9 EMA, that's considered very bullish. And it also triggers a swing trade. You can buy it here, put your stop here. It closed like a monster. I think this is ready to party for tomorrow. You had a huge gap, and so it had to digest this. And now we're going to see this thing work its way back into the 60s. I mean, that is, man, that's hotter than a goose's caboose right there. VST, you know, we've got a little bit of a flag pattern developing on this. This is like your kind of classic cup and handle play where, you know, you get the little bit of a snake at the end. And that is a really, really tight bullish pattern. Anytime you have a stock that makes a run and then just snakes it, you got yourself a nice little doohickey to kind of come back out and rip some tits. I like the overall look of this. Let's add this thing. YMM. Woo! If you like an under $10 name, this thing is the bee's knees right here. This thing, look at this thing. So you got a mark here at 10. And the real breakout is at 10:30, all right? This is, dude, you ain't going to get better. You ain't going to get better than this, guys. I'm telling you. This is a multi-year base, right? You got a multi-year base here. You can't get better than this. You got a breakout at 10, one at 10:30. You got all sorts of liquidity. That's hot. Dude, can't get better than that, man. I think first ad is 10:30. I was up 5% today. You got all sorts of volume coming in on this. I'm ready for it. Let's add this for the list tomorrow. Top of the list. Genie. I want to add some of these $10, $11 names, which I normally wouldn't trade because it's turkey week, it's turkey crack week. You're not going to get, if you're sitting there, you know, pounding on NVIDIA, trying to buy some NVIDIA or buy some Tesla or something, it ain't going to work in this. You know, turkey crack week is for small bombers. You got ourselves here on the Genie. You clearing out all these levels over here, right? That's what I want to see. So you got clearing the levels. Then you got yourself a nice flag pattern. You got the snake. You can't even see. Oh, there we go. Where's that snake coming? My hovercraft is not showing up as well, but right? We got the snake. Man, that's a good God-fearing Christian setup right there if I ever seen one. You heathens need to pay attention, right? To the snake. Now, FTNT. You got yourself a woo. This thing broke up from 80 to 100, pulled back into the bound zone, and now we're starting to marinate here, man. Straight up on the hibachi grill. Ooh, that's a marination station if I've ever seen one. Look at that. You got a 90, let's call that 97. 97 on the hibachi. Just pure marination right there. So you've got 14 from October 14th to November 26th. Pure marination station on the hibachi grill. I mean, you're firing up some Parmesan encrusted groupers right there. It's looking pretty good. I like the overall look of this thing. Bam. 97, we're in. Amazon. I want to try to get a piece of this for Black Friday. You know, you have here a breakout here and then a pullback into the breakout spot. It did kind of needle under a little bit, but now we've remounted here. Big mamma jamma. Look at, you know, the calls were doing pretty good today too. You know, the 12s, 200%, 300%. Man, that's nice right there. We want to, dude, we want to try to get a piece of this coming into the week. We get a gap fill to 210. I think we might be able to get there even tomorrow. Let's add that to the list. We got pure cycle here. Test. Man, you get a hot breakout over this level. Boom. We got ourselves a nice look here. I think that one's ready. Look at this shop. I think this is also, right? You got yourself a hot breakout. So this is like this is like a little post-earnings drift. So this gap here is on earnings. And now you're coalescing, right? You're converging here, letting the EMAs tighten up, and you're building up steam, and you're building up power as you come through this. as your EMAs start to test through and you break this 115, you got yourself a little breakout. Another sign of bullishness is like if you notice the weakness in the morning, it got bought up right away. So it's not like it just, dipped down and then all of a sudden it was just drifting lower all day and ramped, right? It dipped down at the open, it got bought up immediately. That's a bullish sign. You want to see that. That's telling you that the buyers are stepping in. We want a little piece of that. Solars, inside day on run. So you can see here, like we started to pop through. This is a turkey crack play. If it breaks over the 20 SMA, it's ready to go. We got an inside day, a very, very tight, narrow range day. Post, multi-day run. That's considered bullish. I want a piece. Settings, same thing. You're nuzzled right under that 20 SMA. You had an inside day there. Very, very narrow range day. Building up power, building up steam. That's looking buenos. And then I got fresh works here, right? Old freshy. We got a breakout here right in the works. I would consider this about 1689. Your 9 EMAs, curls for the girls coming up under the kitchen Daytona Beat style 1992. I mean, you get a little bit more juice on this. I think that we got ourselves a little party, right? So you got this big base. You cleared over it. So you broke over structure. And then you built out a level, right? That's what trading's all about. It's about building out inflection points between supply and demand levels. Where are the buyers and sellers coming in from? Where are they marinating? Where are they gathering? And then you're ready to party. UPSD, we had this in the morning. It had an okay run and then rolled over like the Randy it is. But I would consider this an inside day. So you had a big range. Look at the little range here. Look at the tightness of this thing. Overall, if this breaks 81, let's just pretend that this here doesn't exist. This little nub right here. Let's just, pretend this was in our nightmares. And now consider this 80 spot, the breakout. Oh, man. We're getting in it now. We're doing the Lord's work if that thing breaks out. That's top of the list for tomorrow. Hymns, also inside day. Right, so we had that big bonanza. Easy rest day. I want you to keep an eye on this 3150 kind of mark. If it can clear this, it's got a spot. Now, look, ideally, it would have another inside day or even a little bit of weakness, but you don't always get that on Turkey Crack Week. So if it goes and breaks this, you got to chase it up and do a day trade. It won't set up for a swing trade, obviously, but we can still day trade this thing. Hut Nation. So Bitcoin, dropped down about 91, 92,000. You got to break out 26. If it could take this out, so, it dipped down today and it got bought up again. The action on this is bullish, but you've got a lid here. There's just a certain lid that's happening right at 26.44. Once that comes in, we're ready to party. Dude, I like the overall look of it. I think the market needs to take probably a little bit of a breather, but if we don't get it, like some of these stocks like Shop and stuff, these could be multi-day runners, maybe some of the Solars, Freshworks. You've got a whole host of stocks. But what I want you to do is stay away from the ones that are probably super extended because they can rug down any second. It doesn't take long. Just like you had MSTR at some point, right? A name like RKLB or something, right? Well, they all do this at some point. And so I want to stay away from these names that are up like 7-8 days in a row. And, we want to build on some fun stuff. So let me know if you have any questions. I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. Now we're doing anything for